Start with your name, age, and where you were born, please.
My name is Antz. I'm 32 and I'm originally from Wood Green in North London.
What took you out to Wood Green?
I just wanted to experience something new. I just wanted to explore, and where I grew up was like a very gang heavy area, environment, drugs, crime, poverty, so I just wanted to experience something different and broaden my horizon.
Did you get entwined in that gang life?
I didn't personally. I grew up around people that were in and out of that life, and obviously I don't want to say the word victim, but stuff happened to me, stuff that I experienced. So yeah, and that's kind of stuff that I also wanted to get away from.
What type of stuff?
So like being robbed, being rushed, set up, yeah, just to name a few things. And I just didn't want that no more. Just people coming up and approaching me on the street, asking me where I'm from. I just didn't want to live that no more.
How did that affect you growing up?
It affected me a lot, because sometimes you're going out not knowing if you're going to make it home, and that they can really damage somebody, you know. But if you don't go out during them times when you're young, you don't really get to experience much, so you're forced to kind of go out.
Like a catch-22.
Yeah, you're kind of forced to go outside. And obviously the older I got, the more mature I was getting, the more that if somebody would have approached me, the more I would have stood up for myself. And when you stand up for yourself, you don't know which way that's going to go. And you don't know if the person who you're standing up towards against has got a knife, a gun, or any sort of weapon. So
how did you go about defending yourself? Did you have to carry your own stuff, or did you just use your hands?
I didn't carry nothing. Even though at times I always thought of carrying something just to protect myself. But no, I just always said I'll try to talk my way out of the situation. But if it got any further, obviously just have to stand there and fight or run. There was a few times when I just run because I was just thinking, yeah, I don't want to lose my life today.
Outnumbered.
Yeah. Or like one time, these guys pulled out with like knives and swords towards me and my friends, and I just thought, fuck that. And I
don't blame you.
I just decided to just run. I dropped like a few of my things and my belongings at that time, and I just thought, yeah, I'm not getting killed today.
I wanted to make you get out of that area.
Yeah, one of like a few things that made me want to get out, because it's just, I don't want to live that life. And by that point, I've already been a youth worker. I've already been outside the country a couple times, so I've got to see stuff outside of like where I grew up, and that stuff there will make you want to leave, because you realize there's more to life than where you live.
Yeah. 100%. So what did that make you go to chase when you left? What did you want to do?
I wanted to become a rapper, but looking back on it now, I left the one place where it was probably the best place for me to become a rapper at, but I just thought to myself, I wanted to experience something different, learn new things. So yeah, I just moved and I wanted to become a rapper. I went into college doing music, thinking that was my path that I was going to get into, not realizing the minute I left home, that's where like all my connections are. So I can't connect with people how I could connect with people. So when I'm up here, you're having to pay for this, pay for that. You're having to try and make connections and stuff. And at the time when I tried to start, it was a bit difficult. So life just also got in the way of that. So I had to kind of just leave the music behind, and yeah.
So did you move on your own, or did you leave with family? Or?
Oh no, I moved on my own. All my family still live back home. Obviously, when I moved to the Midlands, I had friends, I knew people, so that was okay. But obviously, friends and family, sometimes it can be different, innit? Especially when you're closer to your family than you are your friends.
Is that a bit lonesome?
Yeah, it can be very lonesome, because like more time when I meet people, they all got like their mum or dad just down the road, or siblings down the road. My siblings and my family are like hours away, but obviously I decided to make that choice when I left home. But it was either be around my family and having to look behind my shoulder every day when I walk out my house, or come to somewhere in the Midlands where it wasn't really like that when I first moved here. And you can just be at peace, knowing you can just walk down the road and just smell that fresh air. Don't have to worry about nobody beside you, behind you, nothing.
Yeah, it can't be nice when trying to look over your shoulder every
No,
5 minutes.
100%. And sadly now, in certain parts of the Midlands, it has become that where you're having to look over your shoulder because it has slowly become like a look like London a bit. So it's crazy that I've moved away from one thing just for it to be in the place that I moved to, hoping it wasn't going to be there. And that's why I've always told people, like, the places that I've lived in the Midlands, appreciate what you lot got, you know. Because growing up, man didn't have, like, some of the things that I seen. Like, all the greenery. Like, I didn't even know what a farm looked like. All them kind of stuff. Because, like, where I lived in London is, like, very, like, city-based. So, all that kind of stuff we didn't get to see or witness. So, when I'm around people around there, I always let them know that, yo, appreciate that stuff, because yo, if I had that when I was younger, my life may have been totally different.
Yeah, going crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
So if you grew up in a different place, how do you feel like things could have been different for you?
our life could have been so much different because all this greenery that just helps to release your anger, release any frustration, emotions and feelings. At the amount of times where I'm just walking in open fields and I can just feel like any anxiety or anything I'm feeling just leave my body, you know. So yeah, living somewhere else that had like more greenery and more open space would have been beneficial for me. And that's why whenever I go back home, I always tell people, make sure you go see the world, because there's a world out there deeper than just the ends. Like this greenery, like seeing animals, like listening to birds sing, like that stuff can just bring you all at peace, you know.
You didn't get that where you was. Was it
No.
all high rise and hustle and bustle?
Yeah, literally, that's London for you, though, isn't it? Just
Yeah.
And if you do want greenery, you're gonna have to go further afield or go on trips and stuff. But even at that time, probably because I wasn't used to it all the time, I didn't really take advantage of it. Maybe if I was more used to all that greenery and that open space, when I did get a chance to be around it, I would have took advantage of it more.
How did that affect your mental health? You speak of anxiety, did it make you feel anxious in those places?
Yeah, very much so, because, well, at the time when I'm young, I don't realize I have anxiety or mental health, because I thought mental health don't affect people like me. But looking back on it now, I was 100% experiencing mental health for probably the majority of my life. So yeah, I've
What
always
things was you experiencing?
just like traumatic experiences, like stuff with like school education system. Like I have dyslexia, so in school I was always I was put in the lowest set. I was put in a classroom with the children who were the most loud, the most troublesome. So trying to learn was probably like an impossible task, because how am I meant to learn when there's A and B over here making so much noise when the teacher's trying to talk? And I've already got dyslexia where I'm already struggling to learn as it is. So it feels like at that moment in time, like,
What was it like at school growing up with dyslexia? How did the teachers treat you as, as well as the other kids?
well, for me personally, I always felt like they treated people who were smarter or into sport a lot better than me. So I just felt like a lot of time in school, I was just a forgotten child or just left behind.
I think that's because of the dyslexia.
Yeah, 100%. They put all their focus towards the people that were the smartest and the people who done sports, because that was gonna make the school look better, not somebody like me, you know. But looking back on it now, they should have 100% supported the people who also was falling behind or had some kind of learning difficulty. Because no child or no young person deserves to be left behind.
I agree, man. I agree. So did that affect your mental health as well?
Yeah, definitely. Like even now,
Feel cast out.
yeah, definitely. Even now, like even now that I'm older, sometimes I feel like I'm just I'm just the odd one out of the bunch, or sometimes I'm just the one being left behind.
How can you feel like that? Do you think that stems from your childhood?
Yeah, it stems from my childhood and just like who I am as a person. Because even though we are all different, like I do sometimes struggle to find like certain qualities and traits that I have in other people. So yeah, so sometimes I do, and that just makes sometimes people hard to try and understand me or understand with like the stuff that I'm trying to say and get across, because I feel like sometimes I'm a very unique character.
Yeah, man, you are, bro.
Yeah,
We all are.
for
We
sure.
shouldn't be treated differently because of those things. So if you could say something to those teachers that treated you those ways, what would you say to them? But for the future children that are suffering with dyslexia?
Just I wish them nothing but love and peace, and just to let them know I forgive them, because forgiveness is a real thing, you know. And forgiveness just lets it all go off your chest. So forgiveness towards them, and just hopefully through that, that just makes you lot be better teachers going forward. So then no young people or child does it go through what man had to go through. But the most important thing is finding forgiveness for all my teachers. Anybody that ever caused me trauma when I was young or during that period in life, forgiveness. Because the longer you hold on to things, the longer it will hold you back.
I think there is ignorance as well.
Yeah,
To understand it.
100%. But I just hope that the education system gets better, so then they can understand stuff like that a bit better.
Yeah, 100%. So, what type of mental health did you suffer because of these things?
The most thing that I've probably suffered with when it comes to my mental health is trauma, and I've suffered with like anxiety, depression, PTSD. Yeah, just flipping abandonment issues. So yeah, I've suffered with quite a few mental illnesses, and I still do. I still do.
How do you go about dealing with those?
Well, I make sure that I go to the gym, that I look after my physical well-being, but I also make sure that I look after my mental well-being by going to the gym, getting active, changing my lifestyle, like my diet, going to like mental health services that are out there to support me, and just taking advantage of like group activities as well. Like stuff is out there, you might as well take advantage of it, especially if most of it's free and you don't have to pay for nothing. Go take it with both hands.
What type of services would you recommend to others to try and follow up on?
Well, I'm currently like a member at an organization called the ACCI, and it's an organization that was built through a group of Rastafaris who thought that the African and Caribbean community in Wolverhampton weren't getting the proper mental health support. So through that, they opened up this service called ACCI, where it's been going for like 30 plus years now, where they support the local community with their mental well-being, and they put on like different group activities, holidays. They have like accommodation for people. They have therapy service. So yeah, quite a few things that have helped to improve my mental well-being, and I've been a part of with them for like 3-4 years now. And yeah, they've basically saved my life, because even besides all of that, they're giving me like brotherhood, sisterhood, mentorship, and just yeah, they just put the fire back in me that I had but I just lost, and also giving me the faith and believing in me, the same way that I've always believed in myself, but I just got lost on my way.
Yeah, we can all do that, man.
Yeah, for sure. And sometimes you just need the right people around you. Having the right people is so important. Who are gonna, because people always come with that saying, for you to get help, you have to help yourself first, and that's not always true. You know, somebody can help you, so then you understand afterwards how to help yourself, or somebody can just give you that little pull, just the first pull up, and then after then you're on your way to helping yourself. So we don't always have to help ourselves first. Somebody can help us. Just you have to find sometimes that right person or right people to help you. And then
How they helped you?
just like I mentioned, just mentorship, giving me brotherhood, sisterhood, like letting me get involved in like different activities and stuff like that, letting me go on trips. Yeah, letting me perform at certain events that they have. So yeah, things like that have really helped to improve my mental well-being, and obviously they're the reason why I go to the gym, because they encouraged me to kind of change my lifestyle, and that's what I've done.
In what ways have you changed your life?
So prior to going to ACCI, I was heavily on smoking cigarettes, drinking like energy drinks all the time, really bad dieting, rarely exercise. And then from then I've gone like almost a whole year now without no cigarette, no energy drink. I go to the gym almost every single day. I don't even enjoy rest day because I just want to be at the gym. And if I'm not at the gym, I'm out walking and exploring, get my 10K steps in every day. So like they've had a massive impact on that side of things, and just like also me as like a creative, because I'm also a poet. So just them helping me to experience new things also allows me to write new things, and also just being able to talk to other members that go to ACCI. So then that can also increase my creativity and my my writing skills. So then I've got more stuff to talk about. So they've helped me on probably like every aspect of my life.
So you say you perform poetry.
Yes.
What specific poetry, or could you put any words on your creativity?
Not really, because I'm open to writing anything and everything, and I do try to write about different subject matters, but I mostly touch on mental health. I do touch on stuff that involves like the planet and the world. I do also want to get into more talking about racism and the system. So yeah, I've got quite a few poems that I haven't released to the world yet that talk about different topics, because I initially started as a poet, or like when I wanted to do music and rap when I was younger, because I didn't like the injustice that I could see in the world, and I wanted to talk about it and just be a storyteller for my community. So that's stuff at the moment that I'm trying to get back more into, just talking about stuff that impacts our local community, impacts the world, impacts people, with also talking about mental health, because I guess all that stuff kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah, I think it does, man. I think with the brokenness that seems to be around us, I think people seem to be broken too.
100%, but that sums up our world at the moment. Like, we live in broken communities, so broken community, broken home, and then broken within ourselves, and it's just a forever cycle that never ends, because we're all just broken, and then we end up having children, and then they end up broken, and then they have children, they end up broken, and it's just like, let's try to fix this community stuff, so then we can start fixing the home and then fixing ourselves, you know.
How do you think we go about fixing us as a community?
I wish I had the answer, because I guess I'm still trying to figure out on how we actually do that. Just, I guess, more community-based work needs to be done, and us treating each other more with empathy and compassion, because that's something that very lacks in this world, where people don't really have empathy and compassion, and if they do, I don't really know sometimes if they understand what them two words mean. So yeah, we need a lot more of them two things for us to start repairing and rebuilding our local communities, you know, and also eventually for them local communities that are all separate, for it all just to be one.
So do you feel like your creativity helps release some type of inner pain?
Yeah, definitely it helps to release a lot. Like, I'm not, even though now I know talking is meant to help me and I do try to talk, sometimes I still struggle to talk and let my feelings and emotions out, and to let people know like how I'm feeling. So doing poetry and writing kind of helps me to do that, because it's the one place where I know I can just let everything out, and hoping that by letting everything out that it connects with somebody.
Who would you like your creativity to connect with?
Just anybody and everyone. Even though like I'm more like, for me, it's, I've always said, as long as I connect with at least one person, I'm all right. Because then hopefully by connecting with that one person can go connect with somebody else, and then it's a domino effect. It all just comes down, you know. So it's not like I'm just looking for one thing. I'm yeah, just want my poetry to connect with somebody, just somebody, not loads of people, just somebody.
You definitely connected with me, bro.
Yeah.
I asked you for the interview.
Yeah, literally.
You can tell that people felt what you were saying.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that, because I know suffering with mental health is hard, and it can be very lonesome. So if I can just be that voice that somebody can just turn to when they're feeling down and dark, and it just helps them to be a bit more happy that day, then my poetry's done what it's set out to do.
Nice words, man. So if you could have only one thing, money or influence, what would you like from your creativity?
I don't want money, and I want influence, but I want influence where I can do it from afar. So like letting my poetry connect with people, but also at the same time being able to enjoy my peace and my space. I don't want to be famous. I don't want everybody knowing who I am. I just want to just chill in the shadows and just be able to enjoy me, you know, and not the whole world knowing. So as long as I can just connect with that one person, be influential towards that one person, then I'm okay. I'm content. Very content.
Nice. I think we need more connection in the world.
Yeah, for sure.
What led you to pursue writing?
Yeah, when I was younger, like I mentioned previous, I wanted to become a rapper. So, and I wanted to become a rapper because I was listening to people like Nas, J. Cole, Tupac, and they were all talking about stuff that impacts like our community and in the world. And through then, I realized that's something that I want to do, because every time I'm looking outside, my community is suffering. The people around me are going through real life stuff. So through that just inspired me to want to write and talk about stuff that impacts like our local community and the people around it. So that's probably where my writing started from. Because like I also mentioned, like dyslexia, so in school I wasn't big on English, I wasn't big on poetry or writing, but it's just through my love of music where I found that.
You find it easy putting pen to paper?
Not at the start, because I didn't really understand like what I should really be writing and talking about, and maybe at the time I wasn't fully aware of like the experiences that I've experienced, you know, because at that time I'm still just 16, 15. So at that time I didn't really know, but now I'm older and I'm wiser and I've experienced more things. I understand how to write. I understand how to let my feelings and emotions out in that type of way. Even though the way I write is I don't really write it on a piece of paper. I have to freestyle in my head or freestyle on a beat and lay it out that way. And then I write it down.
Okay, it's a pretty unique way.
Yeah, I don't know, I just find it easier that way. Just letting it all out first. Or even like sometimes recording like what I'm saying and then just taking it all in that way, then writing it. It's always worked for me.
Your inspirations from music, would you say?
Yeah, 100%. 100%, because even like my poetry style, like I say poetry is more spoken word. Like my style, you could probably hear in my style like influences from hip hop and rap music. Because my biggest influences are like Tupac, DMX, Nipsey, and they're just all people that spoke about something and spoke about real stuff. So, and in my writing, you will hear me loads of time mentioning them, and you could probably hear their style in my stuff, because that's what I've been influenced by.
Is it anyone else in your family that's artistic, creative?
Not really. I'd say I'm probably the only one, but I've been luckily enough to, when I was a youth worker, I was a part of a youth club before becoming a youth worker, that had mentors there that were into music a lot. So I was able to, when I started to write and do music and stuff like that, I had influences around me. I had people there to help me and guide me on what I wanted to do. And now, even now that I'm more of a poet and a spoken word artist, I've been lucky enough to have mentors and stuff who are also in that kind of stuff. So they've been able to help and guide me, even though my family not necessarily are creative or in that way, you know.
So you feel like more of us need mentors in our lives?
Yeah, 100%. Mentorship is so important because when I was living in London and I had that mentorship, I was on the right path in life. I was heading somewhere, but the minute I leave home and I don't have that mentorship no more, I don't have like them positive male role models around me, then that's when life got really dark. And then the minute I end up finding mentorship again is when my life is starting to become better. Even though I still get them dark moments now, even through mentorship, but I can deal with it a lot better because I know I've got people to lean on, I've got people that are there to help and support me. And mentorship for me is also something that has no age limit. Doesn't matter how old you are, you can all benefit from mentorship.
From one another?
Yeah, 100%. Especially those who have lived probably like a similar path to you, or who maybe have more experience than you. And it's okay to say that they have more experience than you, but it's okay to learn. That's why whenever I'm around my mentors or people that are probably a lot older than me, I ask them questions all the time. All the time, I'm trying to grab as much information and knowledge from them that I possibly can. And that's probably why they all like me as well, because I ask them questions. And I don't just ask them any old questions, I ask them real life questions that will benefit me going forward. And I think that's very important for people to do, is ask questions of people who have experienced certain things in life, and just, yeah, because you can never stop learning. And it's just very important, I think.
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. I think there's too much competitiveness in the world.
100%. Definitely too much competitiveness. That sometimes it's okay to put your ego to the side and sit there, listen and learn. Because eventually, the people who came before us, then they're not going to be here no more. So all the wisdom and knowledge that they have is going to go with them, unless there's people here right now asking them questions and soaking in the answers that they're given. So, and we can't let, like, even though in certain generations there's stuff that you probably say that do need to go, but there's also some things that need to stay. And the only way they're going to stay is if we ask questions and keep a hold of that knowledge.
Nice words. That's one of the reasons why I do this. I find people interesting and I find knowledge invaluable.
Yeah, it's very valuable, very. Like, I'm there talking to people like 30 plus my age, and they're giving me wisdom that I didn't even realize I needed, but I needed it. And I just think it's just so important. But I've also had wisdom from people that are like 10 years younger than me, 15 years younger than me. So I've been lucky enough to get it from both sides, you know.
Yeah, I think it depends what kind of paths we walk.
100%. And we can all learn something from somebody. But just we've got to keep our minds open to it. And sometimes being able to put our ego to the side.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, hopefully in 5 years I see myself more forgiven within myself and more at peace with myself, you know, and at peace with the world. That's probably the most important things. And also making sure mentally I'm in a good space, because I want to experience this world being less anxious and depressed as possible, you know. So that's probably the most important things that I want, and just adding my bit to the world to try and make it more at peace. And hopefully I can do that through poetry, through also giving other people mentorship, being there for others as well at the same time, you know.
Yeah, we definitely need more peace in this world. So if you could go back in time, what would you say to a younger you?
Just keep going, keep your head up, put Tupac on, and put on keep your head up and just keep going. Don't stop. Yeah, the path is painful and it's going to keep being painful, but keep going. And I guess also letting myself, no, keep a hold of that boy, bring him along, don't leave him there, keep him along, because the older you get, eventually you're gonna have to go back and go grab that little boy you've left behind. So make sure you keep a hold of him, because when you're older, trying to get to that little boy again can be a very dark and deep journey, you know. And a lot of us have left that little boy or that little girl behind, waiting for us to go grab them.
I think that's because we've had to grow up too quick.
Yeah, and we're having, while doing that, having to live in real time, you know.
So you talk about mentors.
Yeah.
What type of advice have you received through your life that you'd like to pass on to the next generation?
Like, I think going back to the whole ask some questions and just talk. Ask some questions and talking about like how you're feeling and stuff. And also, I guess, learning how to trust more, even though I guess that one's a bit more a more difficult thing, because trust is a very broad and open subject. But listening, asking questions, and talking are probably the most important things I've taken from mentorship. And also just taking care of your physical well-being, because I think people forget sometimes, or don't think, if we get our mind right, we're okay. But we also need to get our physical right, you know, because what's the point of getting our mind right if our body's like jelly and it don't work properly? What's the point?
So what do you do? Go to the gym?
Go to the gym, eat right, just staying active, you know. Staying active is so important for like your mental well-being. Like, I've never been somebody who's big on medication, and I've never really taken it because it's not really something that I agree with or it's worked for me. But the minute I've joined the gym and been more active in life, I just feel so much better within myself. And that's without medication. And even though I do talk, I don't talk probably as much as I should. So that's without them two things, I've been able to get myself in such a clear and nice space. And that's just through like killing bad habits, going to the gym, eating cleaner, and just, yeah, juicing as well, drinking more water. Like, that stuff there is just so important, you know. So important.
So anyone struggling with their mental health in a low place, what would you say to them?
Like I said previously, just put Tupac on, listen to Keep Your Head Up. Because as long as you keep your head up, there's still hope that you'll make it through that storm. The minute it comes down, that's when you're going to go down into a dark place. So just keep that head shining, going. I know it's difficult because the rain and the storm is treacherous. And while you're doing it with mountains on your back. But as long as you keep your head up and you have that song on, I promise you, you'll make it. So just keep your head up.
So you say you do poetry. Would you like to express a little piece to the camera to share?
Yeah, I can express a little piece with you. This poem is called Lost My Way. I lost my way. I don't know how. Because at one point I was heading for them stars. And then out of nowhere I came shooting down. Straight into a dark hole. And a very, very dark place that I'd spent years in. And when I say years, I mean years getting comfortable. To the point where I wouldn't get out of my bed for days, man. No chance of stepping out the yard. No washing and cleaning. And my dislike for being around people only got greater. I became so isolated. So when lockdown hit us, you can kind of say it didn't really impact me, because I was living that type of life already. And I swear, it took years off my life. Years. And the truth is, I'll never be the same again. Even though I started healing and coming out of that dark hole was comfortable in. Anxiety and depression still hits me so much daily. Daily. And I still find it hard to do normal stuff. I'm always overthinking, and my self-sabotaging behavior still ain't stopped. But what can I say? I just struggle to tip good things coming my way, or people really being interested in me, man. So if you see me sad and crying, just know it ain't because of sadness. It's because I'm so overwhelmed with emotions, trying to accept these blessings that are coming my way. Because in the back of my mind, I should be dead and gone already. I should be in them skies already. But no, I'm still here going on, still here asking why. Why am I still here? Love and peace, Antz. Thank you, Bridget.
Thank you, man. I want to really thank you for your
Thank
time,
you.
bro.
Thank
Respect,
you.
man.
I love that, man.
Thank you. Wish you all the best.
You as well, man.